Hello, this is Mandell Frazier, and welcome to Health from the Inside Out, sponsored by Women of Prominence. Today we have a very special guest with us. She is a IFBB bikini athlete that just recently won the Greater Golf Championships, qualifying her to compete for the Miss Olympia title for 2017. She's a published model, appearing in publications such as Playboy, Surf Magazine, Import Tower, 4E1, and Center Stage. Please help me to welcome Miss Ashley Puida.
What an introduction.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Doing great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Well, I want to get right into it. My first question will simply be, how did you become involved as an IFBB pro bodybuilder?
It's interesting. It happened very much by accident. I was competing in the Hawaiian Tropic circuit. I don't know if anybody remembers Hawaiian Tropic, but okay, here's the best reference I can give. Do you remember when Jim Carrey was on the bus? And the bus full of the bikini girls, and they go, which ways? We need oil boys. And he said, do you remember this?
Yes, that was Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I did. And so I had stopped doing that for a while. I kind of let myself go. And, you know, I had this very dissatisfaction with my life at the time. I was partying a lot. I wasn't being healthy. And I had this tug in my heart that I was missing my passion, that I was missing out on my potential, and I was not reaching my full potential. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to enter a contest. And I just picked Miss Mission Beach because it happened to be the one that was going on at the time. And I picked a coach that was referred to me, a trainer, and I knew nothing about bodybuilding. And I'd been into fitness, you know, pretty much my whole life. And I said, I'll pay you to train me to get me in shape for Miss Mission Beach. And I didn't place, I didn't win. I was a runner-up, but he got me ready like for a bodybuilding show. And I thought to myself, I go, this is incredible. This is the best I've ever run.
Wow.
And he said, you know, I think you should do one of these shows. And I'd never heard of the NPC. I'd never heard of the IFBB. I was a Playboy model and a Hawaiian Tropic model. I didn't know anything about this stuff. And so I entered an NPC show. I qualified for nationals right away. Fast forward, I did about 7 shows my amateur year, and I was just winning first place after first place after first place.
Wow. And
I thought, you know, and I started to really enjoy it, and I became addicted. And so I thought, this could be something, this is something here. This is something.
Okay.
And so I entered my first national show, which was USA's, which, as you know, is a very prestigious show.
Absolutely.
To earn your pro card, and I took first place.
Yes.
And that was 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I've been competing as a pro for 2 years now, and it's been quite the journey.
Wow. And for those who may not be familiar with the jargons when it comes to fitness, health and fitness competitions, what is the acronym for NPC and IFBB?
NPC is National Physique Committee. Okay. And so that's at a national level in the United States. And that's the amateur level. And then the IFBB is the International Federation of Bodybuilding. And so that's the professional division, and that is international. So that includes all of the professionals in the world.
Wow, that is awesome. Wow. All right, now, I guess my next question would be, is it a dream to be competing for the 2017 Miss Olympia title?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
It's hard to talk about something without becoming emotional about something that you have. You know, anything that comes easily is not valued, I don't think. And when you have to work so hard for something, and to have the privilege to be amongst other people who have worked very hard for that as well, it's a dream, and it's not taken lightly by any means. So I am honored, and I'm so excited to be going this year in September. So
Wow.
about 10, 11 weeks out from that.
That's so awesome. Well, first of all, I didn't mean to. Well, you know what? Do we have any pictures that we can show in terms of the transition you made?
I think we do.
The main thing I'm concerned with is, first of all, I didn't mean to make you emotional.
Oh, it's
But I
fine.
know how it is when it comes to dreams and goals and aspirations. You know, you put so much hard work and dedication into it, and then finally, when it comes to fruition, and when it starts to manifest itself.
I think Vince Lombardi, the quote, you know, that he says it the best, you know, when you work. Oh.
There it is.
There it is.
Wow, that is awesome. Wow. There's another one. Well, where's that picture taken at?
And that was Sacramento area in the river there.
That's beautiful.
It looks like I'm walking on water, but I'm not.
Wow, now that's a very, very interesting picture.
There's a funny story behind that photo.
Do tell.
There's so much behind that photo. I was freezing, and I was just so over the shoot. I was so tired. I was so cold. The bikini, that's a whole nother story. It didn't fit because it was for like an extra small girl. I'd gotten it from a girlfriend who was moving out of her house, and she had all this stuff in her garage.
Oh my gosh.
And I just it was garbage, and I took it, and I thought, I'll never fit into this, and I'm never gonna like it. And so I couldn't get it to stay on my shoulders. I couldn't bring it up all the way. And so that look to me is like, let's finish this shoot. I'm exhausted, and I want to go home.
Who was the designer?
Victoria's Secret. Yeah, Victoria's Secret was
Wow.
the suit. And so anyhow, that picture, when I posted it, and that's what we got from the shoot. And when I posted it, it went viral.
I bet it did.
And so I thought, how interesting that something
I
you...
wonder why. I love the quality, the resolution, the high resolution, and the background is tremendous. And you know, I mean, I love the wood stain paneling and
Everything
the iron.
but-
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. Now I read in your bio that you spent 7 years as a beach bum. Oh, I'm sorry, as a ski bum.
Ski bum, yeah.
Please explain to me. I know what a beach bum is, but give me the intricate details of what a ski bum is.
Well, I found that I loved to snowboard. It was something that I tried it for the first time, and I just ended up being really good at it. And I went to visit a friend in Lake Tahoe, and I grew up in the woods, in Portland, Connecticut, in a very rural area. And so I've always had this very deep passion for the outdoors. And anyhow, long story short, I went up to Lake Tahoe and I thought, dear God, this is heaven on earth. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna come back when the snow melts.
Wow.
And I ended up staying for 7 years. And I got lost in the mountains up there. I mean,
Are you serious?
I thought I was Henry Thoreau. I was just backpacking through the wilderness, and
Wow.
yeah,
7 years.
Yeah.
That's like Forrest Gump when he was running. And,
I know.
You know, he
That's a
decided-
long time.
That's a long time. That's commitment. You know. Wow, that's very interesting. Now, I also read, according to your bio, that you have a passion for music. Now, me being a musician myself, you know, that's really struck a nerve with me. So my question to you is, what happened? I mean, you went from
I know.
having this passion for music, but I'm sure you still have, to being this ultimate warrior, you know.
I am not sure. I think the transition probably happened when I started working as a Playboy model. And I always, even as a little girl, I loved playing dress up, and I always, saw myself being a model or being on print, and so I always had a passion for that too. And then it's hard to pursue things you're passionate about, multiple things you're passionate about at the same time. And I don't know. I just kind of, it fizzled out. I don't know what happened to it. I mean, I still enjoy it. I go to the symphony, and I love ballet, and I love going to shows, and
Awesome.
I sing karaoke.
No way. I want to hear something right now. I want to hear Sweet Dreams.
I knew if I mentioned it that was going to happen. Next question. Question.
So, next time we get you on the show, we're going to ask you that. Now, I heard that your father and your uncle was in a small little production called Fame, a very popular TV series, a few years ago. Explain that.
I don't know a ton about it. I have an interesting background. I didn't meet my father until I was 22 years old. I had no idea that I was even African American of any kind, and I'm sorry, not 12, 22. Did I say 12?
Yes.
22 years old until I was, in my 20s.
Okay, let me interject. You said you didn't know you was African American until you was 22 years old? Really? Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the club.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
And that's a whole other story we could talk about for days. But so when I met him, I had to learn all these different things about my family, and that was one of the claims to fame, and that was one of the things. I mean, imagine being a young child and you have a passion for music and for dance, and then all of a sudden in your 20s, you meet the person that you genetically inherited that passion from. It's incredible. And so yes, my father and my uncle are both incredible performers, musicians, and dancers, and they both appeared on Fame. So
now are they still performing and doing choreography or
my
dancing?
father does, and my uncle actually, he had to choose between two paths, as I think a lot of us do at some point in our lives, and he had to either choose between science or dance, and he chose science, and he's now a neurobiologist at Duke University. And
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That is awesome.
He received I think $1 million grant from the U.S. government for his groundbreaking research in the intelligence of birds. So off topic, but interesting.
Wow, I'm glad to find out more information about that. Google it. We had talked about before we started this segment about some of the trials and tribulations you had to go through before you was able to come up victorious. If you could just touch base on having experienced a chronic case of adrenal fatigue, and then what happened afterwards.
So when I initially entered the professional world as a bodybuilder, I was not prepared for the level of competitiveness, and I think it was, a lot of it was I didn't know a lot about bodybuilding. I didn't have the very deep knowledge that you need to compete at that level, and so I went through a lot of trial and error, and I really, after my pro debut, I went even harder into another prep and into another show, and I broke down. My hormone levels depleted, and I couldn't get off the couch.
Wow.
I was exhausted all the time. I was insatiably hungry, and just all these things that were just so uncharacteristic of me.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, gosh, I am at the pinnacle of my life right now. It was terrible because I'd had photo shoots lined up with magazines and all these things that I all of a sudden just had to shut down.
Wow.
I gained 50 pounds. I couldn't,
50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Not 15.
50. Wow. 50 pounds. So there was a lot going on. I mean, and if you have a moment to research adrenal fatigue and the symptoms of it, you should definitely get online and do that and find out the information for yourself. But one of the symptoms is just insatiable hunger and not being able, to control the eating, and so yeah, I thought I would never step on stage again.
Really?
I did. I thought I would never step on stage again. I thought, maybe this is it for my career. Maybe this is all I was meant to do. And again, I just had that tugging feeling that, I wasn't wasn't done yet, and I, through a lot of hard work, worked off the weight, and I mean, stepped on. I stepped on stage again for the first time at the beginning of this last season, and then we just recently took a first place.
So you're like the female Rocky, the eye of the tiger.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Have you always been interested in fitness?
Yes. Yes. The short answer is yes.
Okay. You want to keep it simple, right?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. I used to steal my mom's VHS videos. Do you remember The Firm?
Yes.
With Susan, what was her name?
Was it Susan Sarandon? No, Sarandon? No.
I don't remember her name.
The Firm.
There was a series of them, but the original one was Susan something or another, and they were the VHS videos.
Okay.
And I used to steal them from my mom, and I would sneak downstairs in the morning and I would do the workouts, and I loved them.
I'm gonna confess right now, when you first mentioned The Firm, I was thinking about a movie more so than a videotape.
The John Grisham.
Yes.
Yeah, the John Grisham book.
Oh, the Firm. Okay,
yeah, no,
okay.
they were aerobic videos from the
okay.
80s, like the
Wow.
the 1980s.
So you went back to the 80s.
Well, they were my mom's. Yeah, back in time.
What made you decide to take it a step further as far as fitness competition?
Honestly, I just was doing so well. As an amateur, you win a lot more, I think, as an amateur than you do as a pro, which I found out.
Wow.
Nobody gave me a handbook and told me that, unfortunately. But I just was doing well, and then when I was met with the difficult times, and where it would have been easy to give up, like I said, I wanted to compete as an Olympian so badly, and I thought that I had what it took, and so I kept going.
Wow. So now that you are, at this level that most people can only dream about getting to, how creative are you with your diet? Ooh, that's a bingo.
Well, I work with a coach
Okay.
still. My coach is Kim Odo of Body Bio, and he's incredible.
Okay.
And he works with me. But a lot of times you have to take accountability for your own body, and you have to take that into your own hands. And so I do, a lot of research on food and the biochemistry of food and how it reacts in our bodies. And to me, it's fascinating that if I take this, this leaf or this nut or this egg, and which is made up of all these compounds, and I put it into my body, which is made up of all these compounds, my body is going to rip that thing apart into all its different molecules, and it's going to use them purposefully to keep me alive or keep me moving or to build muscle. And to me, it's fascinating. So bodybuilding diets can be very bland, but mine is not. Mine is not, and I'm not going to tell my secrets right now.
So as long as you want to tell me, not telling your secret, right? Do you feel objectified when you get up on stage?
No.
And why is that?
No, I do not. Honestly, I think because I've been in the industry of female objectification for so long. I was modeling for Playboy at 19. I shot with Arnie Freitag when I was 19 years old. That was my first photo shoot in Santa Monica. And so this is just second nature for me. It has nothing to do with principles or morals or standards. It's just second nature.
It's a sport.
It's a sport.
Okay, I like that. Are there any major misconceptions you think people have about female competition when it comes to fitness?
Yes, and this is actually going to be completely different than I think what you're thinking. I hear a lot in the industry, and this is my own personal, sorry, I keep hitting the mic. I know you guys are going to kill me. Sorry. This is my own personal opinion, but I hear a lot of people always saying, oh, well, it's politics and this girl sleeps with so-and-so and da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't think that it's politics. I think that that's a misconception, and I think that that's what losers say when they don't want to work hard, and I'll just go out and say that.
Wow, I love that. Wow, be bold with it, right? What's your best advice for people who are trying to get in shape?
That's a question I'm asked probably 20 times a day. What can I do to get rid of this?
Exactly, right?
To just get in shape, I'm always a very big advocate of going out and seeking the knowledge yourself. We live in a time of this abundance of knowledge, and it's at our fingertips. And
yes.
If you just want to be healthy and you want to get in shape and you want to say, you're a woman and you want to build a smaller waist, I'll tell you what, take that smartphone that you're on all the time and you get on Google and you go, smaller waist. You just type that in and all kinds of information will come up. The second thing I would say is, if you want a little bit more guidance and you don't have time to spend hours researching, then you should go and find yourself a good coach. Again, obviously I'm biased, but I've worked with a few different coaches, and now I work with Kim Odo of Body Bio, and he's a fantastic coach, and I love being with him, and so, that could be a good place to start. I don't know.
Okay, I love your passion, which leads me to my next question. What are you passionate about in life?
Well, we just touched on it. I think that in life we find that we have a lot of different passions, and I don't think that we know our passions. I think we discover our passions.
Interesting.
And most recently, I have found a passion for food. And it was basically because, I was very sick with adrenal fatigue, and I spent 8 months of not competing, and I had a lot of time on my hands. And so I thought, if I'm going to have longevity in this sport, food is a big part of it. And I need to figure out what I'm missing here, because I'm missing something. And so I started reading about food and how it reacts in our bodies, and nutrition.
Yes.
Nutrition. And as I'm doing the research and reading, I'm finding that I'm fascinated with the information. It was totally by accident. And I found that I could be reading, and all of a sudden 6 hours had gone by.
Wow.
And
it's like watching YouTube, right?
Yeah.
One video to another video to another video.
I lost total track of time.
Wow.
And I think anytime when you're so engaged in something that you lose track of time and space, then you go, bingo, this is a passion. And like I said, we don't pick our passions pick us.
Wow. We don't pick our passions pick us. I like that. What do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, that's always a question that's tough. I hate the answer, I don't know. Right now, okay, I'll say this. I see myself as being a different kind of role model for the young women that follow the fitness industry right now. What I see now is Instagram being saturated, and how do I say this without offending someone, being saturated with the wrong kind of information.
Okay.
We have a serious issue among our youth with body dysmorphia, with diabetes, with obesity, with nutrition, and cancer. We're seeing kids these days who are 16 years old and have type 2 diabetes. And we never saw this before. And so when I would like to have a large enough platform and the opportunity to teach the truth about health and nutrition, and not just, oh, drink this tea and you can look like me.
Oh, wow.
There's much more depth to it than that. And so
Right.
I would say in 5 years, I hope to be a well-respected role model that is educating our youth so that they can build this future that we're relying on them for.
I love your energy, your passion, your drive. It's very motivating. How are you involved in the community?
Well, right now, I unfortunately am spending a lot of time focusing on Olympia and training myself, or not training myself, but training with my team and my coach, and so the way that I try to give back is I get a lot of questions on Instagram that come from women who've gone through some very difficult times, and so I'm trying to develop personal relationships with them and helping people because of the things that I've gone through, helping them get through similar situations and problems. And I hope that in a lot of ways I can make a difference in the lives of others.
Wow, I love it. What's a day like in the life of Ashley?
It's extreme. It basically starts with in the morning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, feet on the ground.
Okay.
And I got that from, and I can't remember her name. I'm terrible with names, but she had this whole theory about counting down from 5. And so anyway,
okay.
It's a long day. I mean, it starts out with meal prepping and then training and then
I know, yes. Real quick, how can we follow you on social media?
Right now, the best way to follow me on social media is to follow me on Instagram. It's very simple. It's just my name, straight through, no underscores, no spaces, nothing like that. Just at Ashley Puida, ASHLEYPUIDA.
And you heard it here from Health from the Inside Out, sponsored by Women of Prominence. My name is Mandell Frazier with my very special guest, Ashley Puida, looking to compete in her first Miss Olympia title for 2017. Thank you guys for watching. Good night.